watched my live yesterday on my 60th birthday, you know that I had a huge wasp nest under my deck and that I got stung. Well, yesterday on my birthday, I got stung 2 more times because the exterminator, who was supposed to extinguish the nest, which he did, but he didn't solve the problem because the wasp built another one in a matter of days. And now there's zillions of them, and I got stung twice on my birthday. But did you know that even though it hurts, some people can actually die by a wasp or bee sting? If you have a severe allergic reaction called an anaphylactic reaction, where you're so allergic that it's like toxin, it's poison to your body, your tongue and your throat swell up, you can't breathe, and then you lack oxygen and you die. Thankfully, I'm not allergic to wasp stings, but I did have a severe allergic reaction one time in my life where I almost died, and it affected me very deeply mentally. As we all know, peanut allergies can be one of the most deadliest allergic reactions out there. Young children have died just by breathing, who are allergic to peanuts, just by breathing someone, smelling someone's breath who ate peanuts. So I'm going to talk about the the time I almost died from an allergic reaction, how it affected not only my physical health, my body was never the same after that, but it also affected my mental health, because this is a mental health channel. So I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to talk about that right now. Hi, my name is Sandra Wyllie. This is my mental health channel, where I talk about my own personal struggles, having borderline personality disorder, anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder. I talk about narcissism and my narcissistic mother, and my schizophrenia, and I wrote a childhood memoir, Life with My Schizophrenic Father, right there. And I come on as a patient advocate so that you won't feel all alone too in your mental health struggles. But I am not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or give you a professional opinion. And all I ask in turn of you is your kindness and respect in the comments. Now, allergic reactions. This is what happened to me when I was in my mid-30s, and my children were both young and both living at home, Alex and Austin. I had taken ibuprofen all my life in the form of Advil and Motrin. Mostly Advil, though, but it's ibuprofen I was allergic to. First of all, I didn't know that you can develop a deadly allergic reaction later on in your life to something that you never were allergic to before. I didn't understand that. That took a lot of, I was totally perplexed. Like, how can this be? I've taken ibuprofen all my life. How can I develop an allergy to it later on in life? Not just any allergy to it, a deadly allergy to it. And the doctors explained to me that yes, this does happen. It's not that uncommon that you can all of a sudden develop an allergic reaction to something that you have taken all your life. Didn't make any sense to me. But anyway, so what did I have? I had some cramping in my 30s. Really, really bad. So my husband went to the store and bought me some Motrin. I took a Motrin and it didn't do any good. It was really bad cramping. I don't know what this was from. I didn't have my menstrual cycle. And Austin was just a baby when it happened. And Alex was living at home before he was struck with meningitis. Which turned him into an invalid. You all can watch my other videos if you're not familiar with that story. But so I called the nurse. And asked her, I'd taken a Motrin. I'd taken and I'm still having very bad cramping. What can I do? I can't sleep, and I got to get up in the morning and take care of 2 little kids. And she said, you can take 3 or 4. And I said, 3 or 4? It says to take only 1 or 2 on the bottle. She goes, yes, but that's only regular. This is prescription strength. As a nurse, I'm telling you, you can take 3 or 4. It's prescription strength at that much. And she says, that'll help you. So I took, I don't know how many I took. I think I took 3. And the pain went away. But then I'm laying in bed and I started having this severe itching all over my body. Like my scalp was itching. My arms, my back. It was like, oh my God. Look, I'm really itching. I can't stop itching since I took that Motrin. But the pain went away. And eventually I fell asleep. I didn't think anything of it. So went on with my life. The next day, I had like a little headache. And I said, oh, I got this Motrin in the house. I'm getting a headache. I had 2 kids, in diapers. And they're running around the house. So I took a Motrin thinking it'll get rid of my headache. And then all of a sudden, all hell broke loose. I had these giant football-sized hives on my legs, okay? When I mean football-sized hives, think of a football as about that big, that wide, like that. I'm looking at my legs. Then, all of a sudden, I feel dizzy. And I blacked out. Like, you black out when you're drunk. I mean, I really blacked out. And I didn't feel right. And I'm going, I don't feel right. And I almost fainted. I blacked out. When you black out for a minute, like everything turned black like that. And then I'm like, I'm wobbling like this. I said, oh my God, what's all over my body? Then my eyes weren't right. I mean, I looked like a mess. So Andrew said, come on, I'm taking the ER. Went to the ER. They got me right in, and they had to give me a shot of epinephrine. That's to start your heart. That's how bad it was. They almost had me hospitalized. I had a severe anaphylactic reaction to Motrin. What's in Motrin? Ibuprofen. That's what's in Motrin. So I could not take ibuprofen any longer, even though I'd taken it my whole life up into my 30s. Well, I was home all weekend, and they gave me steroids. They gave me other medications to help the allergic reaction. I had to end up going back to the hospital because I had a reaction to the steroids. My hand swelled up so much that my rings were cutting off my blood pressure because steroids make you bulk up. Well, my whole body bulked up, including my fingers. So my rings, my fingers swelled up so much that my rings were wicked tight and they were cutting off my circulation. So I had to go back to the ER. Isn't that fun? Well, this really messed up my whole mind. I went to an allergist after that because I had a phobia now of being allergic to things. I developed a phobia from that experience. Have you ever done that before? You go through a very life-threatening experience and then you become like terrified. You develop a phobia of it. Like, say, for instance, if you got in a very bad car accident, you can develop a phobia about driving, and then you never get in a car again. You're too frightened because you got in a severe car accident and you were hospitalized, and you're afraid, like, I'm not going to get in a car again. Or, I don't know. It could be anything. It could be flying. Say you got into severe turbulence and you never fly again because you had a very bad experience. Well, I was afraid that I would become allergic to something that I wasn't to before, because I'm with the school of thought, if it happens once, it happens twice. If a guy cheats once, he'll cheat again. If someone killed someone once, they'll kill again. Just like if you can do something once, if something happens once, like usually people who get cancer and then get go into remission. The cancer usually comes back. Not all the time, but it does happen a lot of times, okay? So I was worried, like, oh my God, I'm scared. I can't eat shellfish. I thought about all the things that people are allergic to. Shellfish, peanuts, tree nuts, not just peanuts, walnuts, pine nuts, pecans, which I love, pecan pie. So I avoided everything. Bee stings, wasp stings. I was afraid to leave my house. I became a recluse. I was afraid to go out because what if I got a bee sting and I had a deadly reaction? This allergic reaction affected me not only physically, but mentally. It also affected me, how it affected me physically is after I had the allergic reaction and the doctors treated it in the hospital, I was told not to take any anti-inflammatory medication, never go near ibuprofen, only take Tylenol, that's acetaminophen. Only take Tylenol, and Tylenol does nothing, by the way. Tylenol does not do anything for my pain, nothing. It's like taking a placebo, it does nothing. What else do they tell me? Don't take aspirin because that's in the same family. You shouldn't take other things. The doctor gave me a whole list of things I should avoid because it was in the same family as ibuprofen. So I should stay away from those same things too. Then I went to allergist and I had testing for all other things all over my back to see if I'm allergic to what, it just, and then I couldn't go out in the sun. Here's the thing, right? I'm a sun goddess. I'm a water sign. I'm Cancer. I love the beach. I love the lake. I love to go out and get a tan. I mean, I do have a tan. See that? Can you see that? Right there. That's my bathing suit. You can see the difference, the white stripe. I love tanning. Anytime, I didn't even lay out in the sun, okay? My husband was driving in the car and I was in the passenger seat. And the sun came in through the window. My whole legs developed hives from the sun. So the allergic reaction made my body hypersensitive, okay, for years after it. I'm not kidding you. My body became hypersensitive. I developed hives. I couldn't go in the sun. I was afraid to go outside because what if a bee or a wasp, now a wasp stung me 3 times already. By the way, the exterminators are supposed to come again on Wednesday to kill this wasp's nest. I mean, I can't even go out on my deck now because they sting me because I'm invading their space, even though it's my deck and my house. Their home is attached to my property. And they don't like that. And they're nasty suckers. They'll get you. They're nasty. They're really nasty. And if you're allergic to them, you can die. So it took me many, many years. How did I get over it? Time. You know how they say time heals all wounds? Well, you know what I say about that. I just said I don't want to live my life and feel like this. I've been living in years like this, afraid of everything. I started eventually, and I love shellfish, I started eventually eating shellfish and going out in the sun, and it started affecting me less and less physically. I wasn't getting hives anymore, and then mentally, eventually I got over the incident. Well, it happened when I was in my mid-30s. I don't know how long it took me to finally, let go of what happened to me. Probably, I don't know, sometime in my late 30s or 40. By then, I let go of it, but it really messed me up for a long time. So something like that happens to someone physically can mess them up mentally, and that's the whole reason I did this video, that it can make you afraid of other things, not just the one thing, the Motrin, which I had total control over, right? I just don't take Motrin. Then what's really ironic is I developed another allergic reaction to red dye. My whole side of my face swelled up. I was like sucking on one of those red hot candies. You know those red hot candies? And I never was allergic to red dye in my life. And then since I turned in my 30s was not my favorite decade. I told people before who watched my live before that my 40s was my best decade, not my 30s. I got irritable bowel syndrome. Look that up. Your bowels, you have a lot of digestive issues with your bowels. IBS I got allergic reactions. My son was hospitalized and turned into an invalid. He lost a big chunk of his brain and has never recovered, and now he's going to be 30 next month, and he still hasn't. So all this happened in my 30s. My 30s, lost both of my parents back to back within 3 months when I was 38. My 30s was my absolute worst decade ever, okay? 40s was much better 40s. But anyway, so this can affect you. When something happens to you physically, and it impacts the mind and body is connected, it impacts you mentally. And it takes a long, long time to bounce back from that, you know? It takes a long time. So I just wanted to share that with you. Please let me know. Have you had any allergic reactions? Let me know if you've had any allergic reactions. How they affected you physically, how they affected you mentally, and if you had any like life-threatening allergic reactions, I'd really love to hear that. And let's have an ongoing conversation about it. To those of you who joined me on my live and wish me happy birthday, thank you very much for the birthday wishes. And if you'd like to purchase any of these books, the links to those books are available in the description. If you'd like to support my channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. The link to that is down below too in the description. My email address is there, so you can email me. If you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. That way you'll be notified each and every time a new video of mine comes out. Give it a thumbs up, like it, share it with your friends and family on your social media platforms. And until next time, you take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.